Dear Chosen One, this message has found you because Heaven's intelligence network has been tracking your frequency. Top-level spiritual agents, those assigned to the awakened remnant, have been watching your movements, documenting your prayers, recording your tears. And now, after seasons of hidden warfare, they've been given clearance to meet you in person. What you're about to hear is not motivation or theory. This is revelation. You've been walking through battles most people will never see. While others were building comfort, you were dismantling darkness. While they slept peacefully, you were awake in the spirit, interceding, resisting, standing firm when everything around you shook. Your faithfulness in the unseen realm has caught the attention of those who operate beyond the veil. Angelic forces assigned specifically to the heirs of salvation. Right now, write "I receive" in the comments below and lock this moment in the spiritual realm. That simple act of faith becomes a marker, a timestamp in eternity where you said yes to what heaven is releasing. Do it now before continuing. This isn't ritual. This is response. God is not looking for perfection. He's looking for participation. Your obedience in this small thing creates an open heaven for what's coming next. What God is about to do in your life cannot be explained by natural means alone. There's a convergence happening, a collision of divine timing, spiritual maturity, and earthly opportunity. The agents who've been watching you aren't just observers. They're deliverers of assignments. They carry mandates, provisions, connections, and open doors that match the level of warfare you've endured. This is your harvest season beginning to manifest. If you've been sensing that something big is about to shift, you're not imagining it. Heaven has been preparing a table before you in the presence of your enemies, and the invitation has already been sent. But there's something you need to understand about how spiritual authority connects to material provision. Most chosen ones struggle financially not because of lack, but because of misalignment. The Call to Prosperity ebook manual reveals the 10 spiritual and practical steps to activate financial abundance according to kingdom principles. Find the link in the description and pinned comment. This video isn't just information, it's initiation. Stay with me until the very end, because we're closing with a prophetic prayer that will seal everything we're releasing here. You didn't randomly click on this. You were summoned. And what happens in the next minutes will mark you, shift you, and propel you into encounters that will forever change how you move in the earth. The agents are ready. The question is, are you? For years, you've felt watched. Not in a paranoid way, but in a way that made you aware someone was paying attention even when no one else was. In your loneliest moments, when it seemed like your sacrifice went unnoticed, there was a presence, a witnessing. Heaven doesn't miss anything. Every tear you cried, every prayer you whispered, every time you chose obedience over ease, it was recorded. And now the record is being presented before the throne. Hebrews 1:14 asks the question, "Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation?" This isn't symbolic language. This is operational reality. There are beings assigned to your bloodline, your calling, your specific mission on earth. They don't serve you because you're perfect. They serve you because you're chosen. And lately, their activity around your life has intensified because heaven has given them new instructions concerning you. These agents operate in realms most people don't believe exist. They arrange divine appointments, block demonic ambushes, open doors no man can shut, and deliver resources from unexpected sources. They've been working behind the scenes of your life, and now they're being authorized to work in front of you, to reveal themselves, to manifest provision, to introduce you to the right people at the right time. This is not future talk. This is now. But here's what many don't understand. Their intervention isn't random. It's connected to your level of consecration, your willingness to stand alone, your refusal to bow to the spirit of this age. The very battles that isolated you were also the battles that qualified you. The warfare that felt like punishment was actually preparation. You weren't being overlooked. You were being shaped for something the average believer cannot carry. The agents assigned to you have been waiting for heaven's clearance to move openly in your life. And that clearance comes when you reach a certain spiritual maturity, a place where you can handle sudden blessing without losing your foundation. Too many people pray for breakthrough but aren't ready for the responsibility that comes with it. You've been in the wilderness long enough. Now you're ready for the transfer that's coming. What's about to happen will feel supernatural, because it is. Doors you stopped knocking on will swing open. People who ignored you will suddenly seek your counsel. Resources you thought were gone will reappear in greater measure. This isn't luck or coincidence. This is protocol. Heaven rewards faithfulness, and you've been faithful when no one was watching. Now, everyone will see what God does for those who remain steady in the secret place. There's a reason this word is hitting your spirit with such intensity. You're not listening to this casually. You're receiving it like someone dying of thirst receives water. That desperation is holy. It's the signal that you're ready for what comes next. And what comes next will require you to walk in a level of confidence and authority you've never accessed before. The old version of you couldn't handle this. The new you is built for it. The agents aren't coming to thank you because you were religious. They're coming because you stayed dangerous to the kingdom of darkness, even when it cost you everything. You didn't quit when it made sense to quit. You didn't compromise when compromise would have brought relief. You held the line, and now the line is about to reward you. Stay with me. There's more to unlock here, and we're building toward something powerful. Let me take you deeper into what this recognition actually means. When Scripture speaks of angels sent to serve the heirs of salvation, it's describing an active, ongoing partnership between heaven and earth. These aren't passive observers. They're enforcers of divine will. They carry out assignments given directly from the throne room. And right now, their assignment includes you. Not because you begged for it, but because you qualified for it through endurance. Think about Daniel in the lion's den. The agents weren't there because Daniel was lucky. They were there because Daniel was consecrated. His lifestyle of prayer created an open portal between his life and heaven's resources. The same principle applies to you. Your consistency in worship, intercession, and obedience has created a frequency that attracts divine intervention. You've been broadcasting on heaven's channel, and now heaven is responding with reinforcements. But here's what separates the chosen from the crowd. You didn't wait for evidence to believe. You believed before you saw, and that kind of faith moves mountains and angels. The reason most people never experience this level of supernatural assistance is because they need proof before they commit. You committed before you had proof, and that's why the proof is now coming to find you. Heaven honors radical trust. These agents have been clearing paths you couldn't see. They've been dismantling traps set by the enemy, rerouting attacks aimed at your mind, and blocking doors that would have led you into compromise. You thought you were navigating life on your own, but you were never alone. Every close call, every narrow escape, every time things could have gone horribly wrong but didn't, that was intervention. That was protection. That was assignment. Now, they're moving from the background to the foreground. What does that look like? It looks like suddenly meeting the right person at the right time. It looks like receiving an opportunity you didn't apply for. It looks like resources showing up from directions you weren't even facing. It looks like favor you didn't earn in the natural, but was earned for you in the spiritual. This is how heaven operates, suddenly, but never randomly. And here's the part that will blow your mind. They want to thank you in person, not metaphorically, not symbolically. There are encounters coming where you will sense, see, feel, or know that something beyond this realm has touched your life with intention. Whether it's in a dream, a vision, a moment of overwhelming peace, or an undeniable sign, you will know you've been met by the divine. These encounters are being scheduled right now. This is why you can't afford to live in doubt anymore. Doubt closes the door to the supernatural. Faith keeps it wide open. The agents can't operate fully in an atmosphere of unbelief, but they thrive in an atmosphere of expectation. So stop questioning whether you're really chosen. Stop wondering if God really sees you. Stop second-guessing your calling. You are seen, you are chosen, and you are about to be vindicated in ways that silence every voice that ever doubted you. The attacks you've faced weren't proof that you were off track. They were proof that you were on target. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on people who aren't a threat. He goes after the ones who carry kingdom authority, the ones who are about to shift atmospheres, the ones who will lead others into freedom. You've been under attack because you're dangerous, and now the reinforcements are arriving to remind the enemy who he's dealing with. Because here's the reality. The agents coming to meet you are also coming to deliver resources. But if you're not positioned to receive, you'll miss the transfer. This isn't about getting rich for the sake of comfort. It's about being equipped to fulfill your mission without financial limitation. Every prophet, every apostle, every reformer in Scripture needed resources to accomplish what God called them to do. You're no different. Provision follows purpose. You've been living under limitation for too long, believing it was humility. But poverty isn't humility, it's hindrance. God doesn't get glory from you struggling to survive. He gets glory from you thriving and pointing others to the source of your abundance. It's time to step out of lack mentality and into the mindset of an heir. You don't beg for what you already own. You step into it with authority, and the resources follow the authority. The agents watching you aren't just watching your prayers, they're watching your stewardship. How you handle little reveals whether you're ready for much. How you give when you have nothing proves whether you understand the principle of seed time and harvest. You've been tested in obscurity, and now you're about to be trusted with visibility. But visibility without resource is pressure without support. Get both, and you'll become unstoppable. This is the season where everything comes together. Spiritual authority, material provision, divine connections, and clear direction. The isolation is ending. The waiting is ending. The testing phase is ending. What's beginning is the manifestation phase, where all the seeds you've sown in tears are about to produce a harvest you didn't think was possible. The agents aren't coming to commend your past. They're coming to commission your future. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why you? Why have you been chosen for this level of attention and intervention? It's not because you're more spiritual than others, or because you never made mistakes. It's because you stayed. You stayed when it made no sense to stay. You stayed when everyone else walked away. You stayed when the promise looked dead. That kind of endurance catches heaven's attention because it reflects the nature of God Himself. Faithful, immovable, relentless. The agents assigned to you have been taking notes. They've documented every moment you chose faith over fear, every time you worshipped in the wilderness, every sacrifice you made that no one else saw. Heaven doesn't forget. And now, the documentation is being presented before the throne as evidence of your readiness for the next level. You're not being promoted because you're perfect. You're being promoted because you're proven. What's about to unfold in your life will make people ask, "How did that happen?" And you won't have a natural explanation, because there isn't one. This is divine orchestration. This is heaven moving on your behalf in ways that defy logic and bypass protocol. Doors that require credentials you don't have will open. Opportunities that require connections you don't possess will land in your lap. Provision that requires income you haven't earned will show up. This is what happens when the agents get involved. But you have to be ready to move when they move. Hesitation in this season will cost you. When the door opens, walk through it. When the opportunity presents itself, take it. When the connection is made, honor it. The agents are creating pathways, but you still have to walk them. Faith without action is dead, and this is the season where your action must match your declaration. You've been declaring breakthrough. Now, prepare to walk in it. One of the ways the agents operate is through people. They position certain individuals in your path who carry keys to your next level. These aren't random encounters. They're divine setups. Pay attention to who shows up in your life in this season. Someone is about to say something, offer something, or introduce you to something that changes everything. Don't dismiss it, because it doesn't look the way you expected. God rarely does things the way we think He will. Here's what I need you to understand. This isn't a one-time event. This is the beginning of a sustained season of supernatural assistance. The agents aren't coming for a visit. They're staying. Their assignment over your life has shifted from protection mode to promotion mode. For years, they were guarding you from destruction. Now, they're guiding you into destiny. The warfare isn't over, but the nature of the battle has changed. You're no longer fighting to survive. You're fighting from victory. And this is where most people stumble. They pray for breakthrough, and when it comes, they don't recognize it because it doesn't arrive the way they imagined. Breakthrough doesn't always feel comfortable. It often feels disruptive. It requires you to leave familiar territory and step into the unknown. The agents are about to disrupt your comfort zone because your comfort zone has become your cage. They're breaking you out, and it might feel chaotic at first. Trust the process. You've been in preparation mode for so long that you almost forgot what it feels like to be in manifestation mode. But the shift is here. Everything you've been building in secret is about to go public. Everything you've been stewarding in the dark is about to be brought into the light. The agents are clearing the stage for your entrance, and when you step onto that stage, you'll carry an authority that cannot be denied or dismissed. People will know you've been with God. This is also why the enemy has been fighting you so hard lately. He knows what's coming. He can sense the shift. So he's throwing everything he can at you. Discouragement, distraction, doubt, delay. But none of it will work, because the agents assigned to you are stronger than any force assigned against you. The battle is already won. You're just walking through the final stages before the victory is fully manifested. Hold steady. Don't flinch now. Let me remind you again about the Call to Prosperity manual, because this is critical. Many of you are spiritually ready, but financially unprepared. You're about to step into opportunities that require resources, and if you don't have financial margin, you'll miss the moment. The manual isn't just theory, it's activation. 10 steps that align your spirit, your mind, and your actions with the flow of kingdom abundance. Access the link in the description and pinned comment. This is part of your preparation. The agents aren't just bringing blessing, they're bringing responsibility. And responsibility requires resources. You can't lead people if you're barely surviving. You can't build if you're constantly broke. You can't create impact if you're stuck in lack. God is about to entrust you with more, but more requires readiness. The manual helps you get ready, not just spiritually but practically. Don't separate the two, they work together. Wealth without wisdom is dangerous. Wisdom without wealth is limited. You need both. Here's the promise. As you align yourself with kingdom principles, as you activate faith in the area of finances, as you steward what you have with integrity, the agents will release resources that have been held in reserve for you. There are accounts in heaven with your name on them. There are blessings that have been waiting for your maturity to match your calling. This is the season of release. This is the season of transfer. This is the season where lack loses its grip on your life forever. But you can't just pray and hope. You have to position yourself. You have to learn the principles. You have to take the steps. Faith is not passive. It's aggressive. It moves. It acts. It takes territory. And in this season, your faith must extend to every area of your life, including your finances. Stop spiritualizing poverty. Start activating prosperity. Not for greed, not for comfort, but for mission. You've got work to do, and that work requires fuel. The fuel is coming. The agents have been watching how you handled nothing. Now they're about to watch how you handle abundance. And here's the test. Will you stay humble? Will you stay generous? Will you remember where it came from? If the answer is yes, there's no limit to what God will trust you with. He's not looking for perfect people. He's looking for faithful stewards. You've proven yourself in the wilderness. Now prove yourself in the overflow. The agents are ready to release it. Are you ready to receive it? Let's go deeper into what it means to be thanked by heaven. Gratitude from the divine realm isn't sentimental. It's transactional in the most powerful sense. When heaven thanks you, it's not just saying, "Good job." It's saying, "You held the line, so now we're shifting the landscape." Heaven's gratitude comes with reward, with promotion, with vindication. And that's exactly what's being released over your life right now. You're entering a season of divine payback for every sacrifice you made in secret. Think about Abraham. He was willing to offer his son, and heaven responded by multiplying his seed as the stars of the sky. Think about Job. He endured unimaginable loss, and heaven restored double what he lost. Think about Joseph. He spent years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, and heaven positioned him as second in command of a nation. That's how God operates. He never forgets, and He always repays. Your turn is coming. Your recompense is already in motion. The agents assigned to you are messengers of this recompense. They're not coming to make empty promises. They're coming to deliver what was promised. Every prophecy spoken over you that seemed to die, every word that felt forgotten, every dream that looked impossible, it's all being resurrected in this season. Heaven doesn't lie, and heaven doesn't forget. What was spoken will be performed. What was promised will be delivered. And the agents are the delivery system. This is why you've been feeling such a strange sense of anticipation lately. It's not anxiety, it's expectation. Your spirit knows something is about to happen, even if your mind can't articulate it yet. That inner knowing is the Holy Spirit preparing you for divine encounter. Don't ignore it. Don't dismiss it. Lean into it. Pray into it. Worship into it. Create space for what's trying to break through into your reality. The agents move where there's hunger and expectation. You've probably noticed unusual signs recently. Repeating numbers, unexpected conversations, dreams that feel more real than waking life, a sudden peace in the midst of chaos. These aren't coincidences. These are markers. Heaven is leaving breadcrumbs to let you know you're on the right path, and the destination is near. The veil between the natural and supernatural is thinning over your life, and you're about to experience God in ways you've only read about in Scripture. But here's the critical piece. You can't enter this season with the same mindset you had in the last season. The wilderness required survival mentality. The promised land requires ownership mentality. You're not a beggar anymore. You're an heir. You're not just surviving. You're ruling. You're not hoping for scraps. You're taking your seat at the table. The agents can only take you as far as your mindset allows. Renew your mind and watch your reality shift with it. Many chosen ones miss their moment because they're still thinking small. They pray for breakthrough but can't imagine what it looks like when it actually arrives. So when the door opens, they don't walk through it because it doesn't match their limited expectations. Don't let that be you. This season requires you to think bigger, believe bolder, and expect the impossible. The agents aren't bound by natural limitations. They operate in the realm of the miraculous. Get your mind ready for miracles. Here's what the face-to-face encounter with the agents will produce: clarity. For years, you've been walking by faith without clear direction. You knew you were called, but you didn't always know where you were going. That fog is lifting. The agents are bringing assignment, strategy, and specific instruction. You're about to know exactly what you're supposed to do, who you're supposed to connect with, and where you're supposed to go. The guessing game is over. This level of clarity is dangerous to the kingdom of darkness because a chosen one with clear direction is unstoppable. Confusion keeps you stuck. Clarity propels you forward. And once you know what you're supposed to do, nothing can stop you from doing it. The enemy's greatest weapon against you has been uncertainty, making you question your calling, your worth, your timing. That weapon is about to be stripped from his hands. You're about to walk in unshakable confidence. The agents are also bringing confirmation. They're going to validate things you've known in your spirit, but doubted in your mind. Dreams you thought were too big, ideas you thought were too crazy, plans you thought were too ambitious. They're about to be confirmed as heaven sent. You weren't imagining it. You weren't being presumptuous. You were hearing God. And now heaven is backing up what you heard with undeniable evidence. Get ready for the confirmation that silences every doubt. Another thing the agents bring is acceleration. What should have taken 10 years is about to happen in 10 months. What should have required decades of climbing is about to happen through divine elevation. Time is about to collapse in your favor, because when heaven moves, it doesn't follow earthly timelines. You're about to leapfrog levels, skip unnecessary steps, and land exactly where you're supposed to be in a fraction of the time you thought it would take. This is sovereign acceleration. But acceleration requires readiness. You can't afford to be sloppy, unfocused, or undisciplined in this season. When things start moving fast, you need to be spiritually sharp and practically prepared. This is why the spiritual and the practical must work together. You need prayer, and you need a plan. You need faith, and you need action. You need to hear God, and you need to execute what He's saying. The agents are bringing the opportunity. You have to bring the obedience. And this is where many stumble. They want the blessing without the obedience. They want the promotion without the preparation. They want the harvest without the sowing. But kingdom principles don't work that way. Heaven honors those who honor heaven. If you want the agents to move on your behalf, you have to move in alignment with what they're releasing. That means saying yes when God says yes, saying no when God says no, and trusting the process even when it doesn't make sense. The agents aren't coming to make your life easy. They're coming to make your life effective. There's a difference. Easy leads to complacency. Effective leads to impact. You weren't called to comfort. You were called to conquest. And conquest requires courage, strategy, and supernatural backing. The agents provide the backing, but you have to bring the courage. You have to make the move. You have to take the risk. And when you do, you'll see heaven move in ways that leave you speechless. Now let's talk about what happens when you step into this new level of favor. People are going to notice. There will be those who celebrate you, and there will be those who envy you. The same favor that opens doors for you will close mouths that once spoke against you. The agents aren't just working for you, they're working around you, shifting atmospheres, changing perceptions, and repositioning you in the eyes of those who matter. You're about to be seen differently. This can be uncomfortable, because not everyone will be happy for you. Some will question how you got where you're going. Some will try to discredit your success. Some will even attempt to sabotage what God is building. But none of it will stick, because the agents assigned to you are also your defenders. They don't just open doors, they guard them. They don't just bring opportunity, they protect it. You're covered in ways you can't even see, and that coverage is about to become evident. Let me be clear. Favor doesn't mean the absence of opposition. It means the presence of divine advantage in the midst of opposition. David was favored, and he still faced Goliath. Joseph was favored, and he still went to prison. Daniel was favored, and he still ended up in the lion's den. But in every case, the favor outlasted the opposition. The agents made sure the opposition became the setup for promotion. The same will be true for you. What's meant to stop you will become what establishes you. This is why you can't be moved by what people say or think. Their opinion doesn't determine your destiny. God's decree does. And His decree over you is irrevocable. You are chosen, you are called, you are covered, and you are about to be celebrated. Not by everyone, but by the ones who matter. Heaven is already celebrating you. The agents are already honoring you. And soon, earth will have no choice but to recognize what heaven has already confirmed. But here's the key. Don't let favor make you prideful. The moment you start thinking it's about you is the moment the agents step back and let you handle it on your own. And trust me, you don't want that. Every blessing you receive is a stewardship. Every door that opens is a responsibility. Every level you access is a test. Stay humble, stay grateful, and stay dependent on God. That's the posture that keeps the agents engaged and the favor flowing. One of the greatest mistakes people make is thinking they've arrived when they're only just beginning. The agents aren't bringing you to a destination. They're bringing you to a starting line. What you thought was the finish line is actually the launch pad. Everything up until now has been preparation. What's coming is the actual assignment. And the assignment is bigger, weightier, and more impactful than anything you've carried before. You're not ready yet, but you will be. The agents are making sure of it. This is also why God allows certain people to exit your life in this season. Not everyone is equipped to walk with you where you're going. Some relationships were for a season, not a lifetime. And as painful as it is to release them, you have to trust that God knows who belongs in your next chapter. The agents are clearing your circle, not to isolate you, but to insulate you. They're making room for the right connections that will empower your mission instead of drain it. You're about to meet people who speak your language, who understand your calling, who carry a similar weight. These are divine connections, not casual friendships. They're strategic alliances orchestrated by heaven for kingdom purposes. When you meet them, you'll know. There will be an instant recognition, a spiritual resonance. These are the ones the agents are bringing into your life to help you carry what's coming. Don't take these relationships lightly. They're part of the plan. And let's talk about the plan for a moment. You've been asking God for clarity, and clarity is coming. But it's not coming all at once. It's coming in stages. God doesn't show you the entire blueprint, because if He did, you'd either run from it or rush it. Instead, He reveals it step by step, requiring you to trust Him at every turn. The agents are delivering the instructions in pieces, and your job is to obey what you know now while trusting what you don't know yet. This is where faith becomes practical. It's easy to have faith when you see the whole picture. It's much harder to have faith when you only see the next step. But that's the faith God honors, the faith that moves without knowing the full outcome, the faith that obeys without needing all the answers. The agents are testing your trust level because the next level requires a trust level you've never walked in before. Can you move with partial information? Can you obey without guarantees? That's the test. Here's the good news. You don't have to figure it all out. The agents assigned to you have the full blueprint. They know the beginning, the middle, and the end. They know the obstacles before you encounter them and the solutions before you need them. Your job isn't to have all the answers. Your job is to stay connected to the one who does. Prayer, worship, and obedience keep you connected. Doubt, fear, and disobedience disconnect you. Stay plugged in, and the agents will guide you every step of the way. One of the most powerful things the agents bring is divine timing. They don't just bring opportunity. They bring it at the exact right moment. Not too early, not too late, but precisely when you're ready to steward it. This is why some doors didn't open when you thought they should. It wasn't denial, it was delay. God was protecting you from something you weren't ready for. But now, the timing has shifted. What was closed is opening because you're finally ready to handle what's on the other side. And this is where patience meets preparation. You've been patient, and now it's time to prepare. The agents are moving, but you have to move with them. That means getting your house in order, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and practically. Clean up what needs to be cleaned up. Cut off what needs to be cut off. Forgive who needs to be forgiven. Heal what needs to be healed. The opportunity is coming, but you need to be whole enough to walk through the door when it opens. This is also the season to sharpen your skills, expand your knowledge, and invest in yourself. The agents are bringing opportunity, but opportunity favors the prepared. You can't walk into a CEO position with an employee mindset. You can't step into influence without developing your voice. You can't lead others if you haven't learned to lead yourself. The work you do in this in-between season determines how far you go in the next season. Don't waste this time. Use it wisely. There's something else the agents are bringing that most people overlook. Rest. You've been running on fumes for so long that you forgot what it feels like to breathe. The agents aren't just bringing more work. They're bringing grace for the work. They're bringing ease in places that used to require straining. They're bringing flow where there used to be friction. You're about to discover that when heaven backs you, the yoke is easy and the burden is light. This isn't grind season anymore. This is grace season. That doesn't mean there won't be work. It means the work will be energized by something beyond you. You'll have strength you didn't generate, wisdom you didn't study for, favor you didn't earn. This is supernatural endurance, and it's one of the clearest signs that the agents are active in your life. When you're doing what you're called to do with heaven's backing, you don't burn out, you burn bright. There's a difference. One depletes you, the other fuels you. But to walk in this grace, you have to stop striving. You have to release the need to control everything and trust that God is orchestrating behind the scenes. The agents can't move freely in an atmosphere of anxiety and control. They need your surrender. They need your trust. They need you to stop white-knuckling your way through life and start resting in the reality that you're not alone. Heaven is working for you, with you, and through you. Your job is to cooperate, not dominate. This is one of the hardest lessons for chosen ones to learn because you're wired to fight, to push, to make things happen. But there's a season for pushing and a season for resting, and this is the season for resting. Not resting in the sense of inactivity, but resting in the sense of trust. You move when God says move, you rest when God says rest, and you trust that His timing is perfect. The agents are moving whether you see it or not. Your panic doesn't speed them up, and your peace doesn't slow them down. Relax into the process. One of the most profound encounters you're about to have with the agents is an encounter with your own identity. For too long, you've seen yourself through the lens of your past, your mistakes, your limitations. The agents are coming to shatter that false identity and reveal who you really are. You're not just a survivor, you're a conqueror. You're not just chosen, you're commissioned. You're not just spiritual, you're powerful. And once you see yourself the way heaven sees you, nothing will be the same. This identity shift is critical because you can't walk in authority you don't believe you have. You can't step into your calling if you're still seeing yourself as disqualified. The agents are bringing a mirror, and in that mirror, you're going to see what God sees: a son, a daughter, an heir, a warrior, a world changer. You're going to see the fullness of who you were created to be, and that vision is going to propel you into action. You won't be able to play small anymore. You won't be able to hide anymore. You'll know who you are, and you'll step into it with boldness. This is also the season where God is restoring what was stolen. Years, relationships, opportunities, dreams, everything the enemy took is being returned with interest. The agents don't just bring new things, they bring back old things that were wrongfully taken. And when they return it, it comes back better than it was before. What you lost in one season, you'll recover in this season, multiplied. This is the year of restoration, and the agents are the enforcers of that restoration. But restoration requires forgiveness. You can't receive back what was stolen if you're still holding on to bitterness about who stole it. The agents are bringing blessing, but bitterness blocks the flow. If there's anyone you need to forgive, do it now. Not for their sake, but for yours. Forgiveness isn't saying what they did was okay. It's saying you're no longer willing to let what they did hold you hostage. Release them, and watch what God releases to you. You're also going to have to forgive yourself. Many of you are carrying guilt and shame over past mistakes, and it's keeping you from stepping into your future. The agents are coming to remind you that you've been washed, you've been redeemed, you've been made new. The old is gone. The new has come. Stop punishing yourself for a past that God has already forgiven. Walk in the freedom of your forgiveness and watch how that freedom opens doors you thought were permanently closed. Another thing the agents are bringing is boldness. You've been playing it safe for too long, tiptoeing around your calling, afraid to step fully into what God has for you. But this season requires a different level of courage. The agents are infusing you with holy boldness, the kind that doesn't shrink back, doesn't apologize for taking up space, doesn't dim its light to make others comfortable. You're about to become unapologetically you, and that authenticity will attract everything God has for you. Boldness doesn't mean reckless. It means confident. It means you know who you are and whose you are, and you're no longer willing to shrink to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. The agents are bringing you into rooms where you belong, where your voice matters, where your presence shifts the atmosphere. And when you walk into those rooms, you're going to walk in with your head up, your shoulders back, and your heart steady. You belong there. The agents made sure of it. This is also the season where your voice is being amplified. What you speak is about to carry more weight, reach more people, and produce more impact. The agents are positioning you as a mouthpiece for heaven, and what comes out of your mouth will no longer fall to the ground. It will pierce atmospheres, shift mindsets, and activate destinies. Be careful what you say. Your words are becoming weapons, and heaven is loading them with power. This is why you have to guard your mouth in this season. Stop speaking lack. Stop speaking defeat. Stop agreeing with the enemy's narrative about your life. The agents are listening to what you're saying, and they move according to your decrees. If you're declaring breakthrough, they're clearing the path. If you're declaring defeat, they're standing by, waiting for you to shift your confession. Your words create atmosphere, and atmosphere determines what can and cannot manifest. Speak life. Speak victory. Speak the promises of God. The agents are also bringing partnerships, business partnerships, ministry partnerships, creative partnerships. You're about to connect with people who complement your calling, who bring what you lack, who multiply your impact. These partnerships won't be forced. They'll be natural, seamless, and mutually beneficial. When you meet these people, you'll wonder how you ever functioned without them. That's divine alignment. That's the agents at work. Don't resist it. Embrace it. These connections are golden. Now we're entering the final stretch, and I want to prepare you for what comes after the encounter with the agents. Once you've been met, once you've been commissioned, once you've received your assignment, there's no going back to normal. You'll have crossed a threshold that changes everything. Some people will understand it, most won't. But you won't need them to understand because you'll know. And that knowing will be enough to keep you moving forward even when the path gets hard. Because it will get hard. Not in the way it was hard before. This is a different kind of hard. This is the hard of stewarding something greater than yourself. This is the hard of carrying responsibility for outcomes that affect others. This is the hard of being seen when you used to be hidden. But it's a good hard. It's a purposeful hard. And you'll have the grace to carry it, because the agents don't commission you without equipping you. You'll have everything you need when you need it. What you won't have is the luxury of mediocrity. Once you've been touched by the divine, there's no room for half-hearted living. The agents are bringing you into a level of accountability that will stretch you, challenge you, and refine you. You're going to have to become the person your calling requires you to be. And that becoming process isn't always comfortable, but it's always worth it. On the other side of discomfort is transformation, and transformation is what you've been praying for. So here's my encouragement to you. Don't resist the process. Don't run from the pressure. Don't shrink back when things get intense. Lean in. Trust the agents. Trust the process. Trust the God who called you. He didn't bring you this far to drop you now. He's finishing what he started, and the agents are making sure you cross the finish line with everything you need. You're not failing. You're not falling behind. You're right on time, right on track, and right where you need to be. And as we close this message, I want to leave you with this truth. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not invisible. Heaven sees you. Heaven knows you. And heaven is moving on your behalf right now. The agents assigned to you are already in motion, clearing paths, opening doors, delivering resources, and arranging encounters. Your breakthrough isn't coming, it's already here. You just have to step into it with faith, obedience, and expectation. Now, let me pray over you because this is where we seal everything we've released today. I want you to receive this prayer with an open heart, an expectant spirit, and a willingness to let God move in ways you've never experienced before. This isn't just a closing prayer. This is an activation. Let's go before the throne together right now and release what heaven has already decreed over your life. Father, in the name of Jesus, I stand in the gap for every person hearing this word. I thank you for the agents you've assigned to their lives, angels, divine messengers, heavenly enforcers who've been watching, protecting, and preparing the way. I thank you that this is the season of encounter, the season of recognition, the season of reward for faithfulness that seemed forgotten. Lord, let them feel your presence right now in a way that removes every doubt, every fear, every question about whether they're truly chosen. I decree and declare that divine doors are opening that no man can shut. I decree supernatural favor, unexpected provision, and strategic connections are being released. I speak to every closed door and command it to swing open by the authority of heaven. I speak to every delayed promise and declare it accelerated. I speak to every financial limitation and command it broken by kingdom principles and supernatural intervention. Let the wealth of the wicked be transferred into the hands of the righteous right now. Father, I pray for identity restoration. Let them see themselves the way you see them, powerful, anointed, chosen, and fully equipped. I break every lie of the enemy that says they're disqualified, too late, or not enough. I declare they are exactly who you created them to be, and this is their moment to step into it. Release boldness, release confidence, release holy courage to take the territory you've already given them. I pray for divine encounters in dreams, visions, moments of overwhelming peace, and undeniable signs. Let them know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the agents are real, that heaven is engaged, and that their breakthrough has been released. I pray for clarity of assignment, strategy for execution, and grace for the journey. Let them move in supernatural strength that doesn't deplete them but sustains them. Let them walk in the easy yoke and the light burden that only comes when heaven backs your mission. Father, seal this word in their hearts. Let it become more than a message. Let it become a marker, a moment in time where everything shifted. I pray they walk away from this video different than when they started it. Let the encounter with heaven be undeniable, unshakable, and life-altering. I thank you in advance for what you're about to do, for the testimonies that will come from this word, for the lives that will be transformed because they chose to believe you at your word. In Jesus' name, I release breakthrough, I release favor, I release acceleration, I release divine appointments, I release supernatural provision, I release identity restoration, and I release the fullness of everything the agents have been assigned to deliver. It is done. It is sealed. It is released. Amen. Chosen one. The agents are on assignment. The encounter is coming. The breakthrough is here. Access the Prosperity Manual. Drop your I receive in the comments. Like and subscribe, and support us if you can. But most importantly, step into what's been released over you today. Walk in it. Live it. Become it. You were made for this. Heaven is backing you. The agents are moving. And your moment has arrived. Go in power, go in peace, and go in the confidence that you are seen, known, and divinely favored. This is your time. Walk boldly into everything God has for you. I'll see you in the next word. Stay extraordinary.